It's going to give New York an advantage. They're jumping very quickly into this one, and Fate is going to be on the wrecking ball. We've seen him play this before in the past. That's going to be an easy fight. They bait in the aggression of New York and immediately capitalize.
And this is a little bit more towards what they were playing against Dallas. They were trying to run compositions that are similar, but Fate plays the wrecking ball. Now, part of the reason for this, I think, is that Fate's Winston hasn't looked, or by being able to just roll through them as well. You disrupt all of their spacing, and you can capitalize on that. Against Dallas, it did not work, because they're good. But against New York, they're just shredding them right now.
Yeah, it's so good. I was thinking about it the other day when I was watching this composition online. I mean, I can see the thought process behind this composition, like the Shanghai are running with the wrecking ball as like a centerpiece, because you're not privy. I suppose you're not reliant on like the cooldowns of your Winston leaping in, your bubble cooldowns to try and fade. Eventually, they will do so. Shanghai opting to try and take this fight, though. You see the duplicate being used. Fled is going to have another self-destruct here. Friday, okay, sensed that it might have been getting a little bit sticky there. Has to opt into using that self-destruct. Still on the point, though. They're not able to just take them off just yet. Fludder eventually taken out of that duplicate form. Fate coming back in with the pile driver. Ivy is gone. 96%. New York forced to try and take out Lip in the backline here, but okay, Flutter's doing still a decent amount of work, and somehow, Josh, they brought it to 99%.
And that is ridiculous. And they're also not out of the fight yet. Thankfully, Fleder does fall, and New York are going to be able to take control of this. It felt like New York should have been able to win it ages ago, but instead they just grapple control back towards themselves and start
really healing up his team for the engagement. But he's definitely putting a lot of pressure into them with that power drive. I mean, they just set up the kill here for Fleder. Comes through with the beam. Sound barrier on top as well. They've got all the health in the world to work with, and yeah, no fade for Jonak. It's going to be a point flipped over for them with 99%. The overtime ticks over. The beam just to catch on the feather. Going straight down off the point, and that's going to be the round on the board now for the Shanghai Dragons. And doubling down. They want to showcase what this comp can do. And to be fair, the theory of it could be quite sound to an extent as well. You're kind of trying to... Wow, okay, that was optimistic, Ivy. That was incredibly optimistic with that one. And now Lip just on a tear. This guy on McCree... I mean, I can't really think of too many players who are scarier to face off in the league. His McCree is really up there with some of the best.
It is.
And yeah, this
Absolutely
is the concept of Shanghai's composition, I think, as well. You're on a double hit scan, you're on this wrecking ball. It's the Shanghai Dragons. We see Feather actually ended up duplicating over to the Lucio. Didn't get the boot off, got taken out of the form before he could get the ultimate off. And Shanghai have brought this fight back.
Oh, this is ridiculous, Bren. New York have struggled with their focus fire, and Shanghai are running rings around them. Li Jigon has stayed alive up until right now, sucked down by Jonak from long range through that biotic grasp. And New York surely are going to be able to just to stay alive at the end.
But he's been whistled down so quickly, and now another nano boost built up here. Izayaki, yeah, going to be layering that one onto Void. Dodge the self-destruct around the corner, come back round as well. And they haven't really dealt with Lip in the slightest. Feather and Ivy are down. Too much damage going to be missing here from the New York Excelsior. And yeah, with Bianca gone, that is going to be the map. The Shanghai Dragons.
Shanghai looked incredible when they were running aggressive compositions.
Flood has gone for the hammer kill. I mean, that is just absolutely disrespectful. I know we were picking them up there on the Indeed player resume, but to go out with that in a playoff match, I mean, the guy's cool, calm, and collected, and they've separated Ivy. He's out of the way, gone, and now they can begin to just bunker down onto the point, and this is where this comp really becomes problematic. Stationary, the fight has to be taken to them, and New York now going to be committing ultimates. Feather over to the Diva, has to build up this self-destruct. Coalescence comes through from Izayaki slightly earlier now. Jonak building one of his own. Comes through, might have it now available for them, and Shanghai taking a fight in this corridor. Prime opportunity to get value out of this Coalescence. This turret's up, it's going to be pumping in the damage. The self-destruct as well, somehow doesn't get any kills, but Lip now, the Death Blossom. Surely that might just end it here. Yakpung has built up this Primal Rage though, and he's going to be trying to make it work, but yeah, melted almost instantly there. And this will be the Shanghai Dragons taking away this point.
And this is one of the reasons why.
Quick work at this one. Obviously, it fades away, but the team's still alive. Now, he's out of the fade. Punishable. They're doing a reasonable job of it. Now they force out the second fade. But Jonak goes down now. Izayaki punched against the wall. Ivy coming back in, but eventually he will fall. Void sending in that self-destruct. Pushing them away for the time being. Feather using that duplicate as well, just moving over to the Diva. He has built up the bomb in time, but he's going to be taken out of that form, and now the shield blocked up a lot of it. 89% and counting here for the Shanghai Dragons. They just need to clear New York away from the point. Jonak, though, with his Coalescence, is doing a very good job of putting in consistent damage. It might be enough for New York to try and come back into this one, though. Ivy has to get some work done. Brought down as he tries to get the engage. In the end, no one's really able to deal with Lip. And now only a couple of players left. The bubble is what stands between Shanghai and capping up this point. And now with the Molten Core laid down, that is going to be all the damage they need to get that 3 minutes, 43-second time bank.
Izzyaki was barely in the fight.
Yeah, all it does is allow them to reposition to the high ground, and now they can start to maybe approach from this angle, but they've been yoinked back down again. Fate with the Halt has just completely put a stop to this.
New York got baited there completely. When we talk about trying to bait teams into taking bad engagements, that's what we mean. Shanghai there, they were completely set up for a coalescence.
Because it's coming online for a lot of the Divas in the battlefield here. Feather tries to just kind of initiate and into them, but taken out of the form almost immediately. And now we see Lip using that Death Blossom, the Supercharger laid down as well. New York have to use a sound barrier to try and survive the onslaught of damage that's coming their way, and it's looking potentially quite good for them. Feather gets the kill onto Lee Jae-gon, but with this Amp Matrix down, how are they going to be playing into this one? This window is going to be causing all sorts of pain for them. And the Shanghai Dragons, again, are just able to secure this defense.
Void used a self-destruct in the middle of that team fight to try and break apart the New York Excelsior.
Onto the high ground. It's an instant read from them. Void straight away, it's going to be diving straight into his face, but backing off now to the rest of them. Ivy, though, shield bashed up into the corner. He had Wraith form, but he couldn't pop it in time. And now that's exactly where Shanghai want to be taking that fight. Lip with the Death Blossom, just baiting New York right into the close quarters fight again. 20 seconds left. Where are the answers? That Supercharger and the Molten Core. Good luck trying to push into that one. The overtime's going, and eventually someone's going to have to drop down a touch, but that is a death sentence. Yakpun on 1 health. He's on the high ground. He's just trying to stay alive, but he dies to the turret. That is going to be the map.
Just a couple of times.
Oh, the engagement comes through with the power driver. You can see that dodge came through, actually. The fade was used pretty early on, and yeah, Ivy's looking for value, but has to disengage. Has to use the Seismic Slam to just get back away. Normally you want to be taking the fight on the high ground, but this time, New York baited into the corner, and Shanghai on the attack. Well, they are the ones who are large and in charge, in control of this point. Yeah, that's going to be easy peasy for them. It definitely feels like Ivy playing to see it. There you go. Bit of sportsmanship there from the Shanghai Dragons. Definitely. Obviously shaving off a bit of the seconds, but the fight is going to take place straight away, and Ivy going for the punch. Lee Jae-gon is gone out of the fight. Not going to have that sound barrier for this one. Jonak going to be using that Coalescence to try and keep the team alive, but Yakpun was already taking so much damage, and he's probably going to be next. There you go. The power driver damage is just too much to overcome. Duplicates comes out here. Feather very close to building up this next Ultima, but the Flutter in the skies, yeah, it's looking like a done deal here for the New York Excelsior. Last-ditch effort there from Feather, but he realizes, well, just got to reset this one, and now the cart continues to move forwards. Flutter close to this duplicate. They force New York into the staircase here. The Primal Rage from Yakpun just to keep the game going. Oh my goodness! That is ridiculous. He's going to be avoiding a bunch of that damage that Ivy was trying to send his way. In fact, now just assuming his role. In fact, he might even just try and do it a little bit better. Built up the Meteor Strike, avoids a big chunk of it going his way. Still, the fight is not over. New York still trying to win this fight out. In fact, they might just do it with Flutter going down. A Death Blossom in the back line. That is going to do that. 3 minutes now, 45. Try and save him there. It's going to be straight up into the sky, into the back line now. Another bit of damage into the support line. He can't punch into the mines, though. Has to back away, and the South Stroke pushes them. Shanghai still taking this fight. Obviously, Flutter coming back into this one now. The Coalescence as well. New York, they can't stand up against this. It's way too oppressive for them still. You see the power drive attempts come through. That's actually the duplicate there from Feather just to try and stall this point out. But it's do or die time now for the New York Excelsior, and they just do not look like they've got the coordination to try and stop them here. A last-ditch effort. You can see Ivy going into the Wraith form, but eventually has to be pushed away, and it gives Lip the perfect timing he needed. They had nothing to stop that Death Blossom. 2 kills, might even get the third one if he's lucky enough. Flutter steals it away from him, but it matters not. 2 minutes on the clock there. Eventually, Lip needs to be pressured off this, away from this angle here. He's just putting in that damage with that dynamite. Now the amplification matrix come through and the body block. Oh my goodness. I think Ivy meant to just send it straight through the amplification matrix, maybe getting that environmental kill in the process, but whether intentional or not, it was blocked in the end.
Yeah, Void swept his way in there, just body blocking, making sure that he connected with the punch instead of the...
Quite a halt there of Fate, so couldn't actually connect that that punch onto Void like he maybe wanted. Still in the action, 85% in counting though, just trying to push them away from the point, and they get the capture.
Big duplicate from Feather. Massive supercharger as well to finish that one out. How on earth can you push into an Orisa there as well as the Winston Weaver, especially when Feather has a supercharger that you can spawn, where they have the spawn advantage and many players coming through. So ideally you want to be in, get a pick, reset back out. They have another one onto Feather though.
Oh my goodness, it's chaos. I mean, good luck trying to figure out what's going on here. The South Destructs are coming through. Bianca might be committing one of his own, but they cap it up. That was Feather alone, I believe, just walking it in. And it worked out. It played off for the New York Excelsior. 3.5 minutes now, pushing this one in. They flipped up the positioning again. The uppercut right underneath the doorway. Just flying up into the edge, just missing the punch though. Ivy really showcasing all the tech he can to try and win out this fight. Now it's going to be the trade up here, but they get the kill onto Izzyaki as he faded into the enemy's backline. Essentially the positioning's being reversed there. The Wraith Bomb onto Lip, not enough to escape from that fight. So a one engagement here from the New York Excelsior. They can't really afford to lose any more time. You can see now rotating all the way around. Fate was ready for it, got the power driver as they're trying to get this kill now onto Lee J going. They will be rewarded with it. Coalescence had to be committed, but now it's a better one here from Izzyaki. And Izzyaki is going to beam down Feather in the process. It's a long drawn out fight, a long drawn out engagement, and the longer it gets, the better it's going to be for Shanghai.
Oh, but Fleder taken down. Yakpunk with a great kill there. Just as Fleder was about to approach duplicate form and could have extended this one out. NYXL, they must finish with time on the clock here, otherwise a draw is the best they can hope for on Numbani.
They need to try and finish it out, but it's so close. The bodies are just stalling it. Fleder as well on the Diva. It's going to be uppercut and pushed away for the moment, but now the stall comes through. Fate comes down. That's going to be the Self-Destruct built up. Fate trying to bash them and push them into the positioning of this Self-Destruct. Still, the fight continues, the overtime. You have to close this out here and now, New York, to stay into this one. Ivy, desperation play coming in through. Now the punch might just connect. Indeed, it does. Still, they need to get a couple of more kills. Now the mines come through. Fate, he might have just turned this. The Self-Destruct, they pushed him off the point. Shanghai walking away with the 3-0. And that's going to be the GGs in the chat there. And you can see the players' faces. I mean, New York realized, well, that is going to be it for us in this tournament. Shanghai Dragons going to be moving further forwards. Obviously, it's a long road ahead yet. They're going to be going up against the Atlanta Reign in the lower bracket.